So today was day 2 of my moon time. So I've been bleeding for 2 days now. Well, I started last night. So not really a full 2 days, but since I started yesterday, I'm going to count yesterday. And today I want to talk about paying attention to your body and your symptoms. Symptoms for everybody varies. Everyone is different. There are a lot of similarities and some base symptoms that most people when I say people, I mean uterus-bearing women. Born with a uterus, has a uterus, or perhaps had a hysterectomy. Women with full hysterectomies can still feel symptoms of a menstrual cycle. You may not bleed, but you still have the hormones that fluctuate up and down. So this does not discredit you. You are a part of this. If you're a woman who has ever been a woman, has a uterus, or ever has a uterus, this is for you. Time periods for everyone's period also varies. So some women may only bleed for 3 days, some may bleed for 5, depending on if you have PCOS or endometriosis. You may bleed for 7 or longer. I bled for 4 months straight one time. That was not fun. Also, what isn't fun is being out and about through your day and starting your cycle unexpectedly out of the blue in a place where you're not prepared. So how can we avoid this? We can avoid this by paying attention to our bodies and recognizing the symptoms that follow up to our moon time, the day of our mens. This is where tracking comes in. I highly suggest you track your period if you don't, at least for 2 to 3 months. 3 to 5 months is even better. This will give you a more consistent telltale play-by-play of what your body is going through each of those 29 and a half days of the cycle. By tracking your symptoms and your period and the way you feel, you can get an idea of when your next cycle is going to come and how to tailor your day and your lifestyle to provide a more fruitful, fulfilling, and comfortable environment for you to grow. So what are some common symptoms of our period coming soon? Cramping is one of the most common symptoms of PMS and menstruation that most people experience. Cramping is not normal, and it can be treated, and it can be reduced, and you can actually get rid of all of the cramping. It takes time and it takes work, but your food, your diet, your activity, and your stress levels highly affect the way your body feels, including that cramping, especially during the actual mens. So if you can avoid certain foods and drinks, that will pretty much diminish all of the cramping that you feel. But what about before you start, like the weeks leading up? Sometimes symptoms can start up to 2 weeks before you actually start your period. So things to look out for are back aches, leg aches, hip aches, your feet hurting, emotional. That's a pretty widespread common one. I notice for myself when I am getting close to start that I cry about everything, whether it makes me upset or not. I can look at my man and just realize how much he loves me and start bawling. It's just because when we're getting close to that cycle, we're becoming very in tune with all of our emotions. Our hormone levels are all over the place. In another video, I'm actually going to talk about what your hormones are doing throughout your cycle. I slept all day because I've been very restless the last couple of nights. Some other things that you can look out for symptom-wise before your period begins: indigestion, constipation, UTIs, migraines and headaches, dizziness, lightheadedness, energy levels draining. Some women may actually experience a rise in libido. Some women may experience a significant drop in libido. That varies drastically. Sometimes mine rises and sometimes it drops. So it really just depends on what is going on in my body. My PCOS highly affects what the rest of my menstruation does. So it's very difficult to even keep a consistent tracking on it, honestly. But I have learned to pay attention to my body and my emotions in the weeks, pretty much all the time, especially in the weeks coming up to when I start. I notice that I'm slower, I'm tired, I'm sometimes forgetful, I get very emotional. The back pain, the hip pain, the leg pain, and the foot pain is my biggest sign that I am about to start any day. This week, actually, I was thinking about doing all of these videos, so this one may be a little longer just to catch you up with what I've been going through the last few days. 2 nights ago, I woke up first thing in the morning, like it was still dark outside, and I wasn't feeling well. I went outside to get some fresh air, used the restroom, and I almost passed out. I stabilized myself. I sat on the porch. I felt nauseous. I vomited. And then I actually did pass out. I went unconscious for a good 2 to 3 minutes on my front porch. And that was scary. I have no idea why. I was in an extraordinary amount of pain. The sharp pain was shooting through my entire pelvic region in my legs. It felt like a flaming sword slicing through my intestines and my uterus and my vagina and my hips. It was bad. Thankfully, I actually do have a doctor's appointment next week, so I will keep you guys updated with what I find out of my doctor. But those things are not normal. Just because it's normal to experience as a whole, as a group, as a community, does not mean that it is normal for the individual to actually experience. Society makes things normal. It takes things that it has created and says, this is the new norm. And I want to break those norms and tell you that what you're going through is not normal. This is a very natural cycle, and it's a very beautiful cycle. And until we can learn to track and appreciate and love our bodies and our cycles, we will continue to be miserable. So if you are interested in learning about how to track your cycle, what your body is doing through your cycle, how to make your cycle healthier, how to appreciate your cycle, or just what the fuck is going on in your body in general, then this will be the series for you. I am going to try my best to every day give you an insight into what's going on in my body and what's going on in your body, just as a basic natural cycle that we experience. I think that there's not enough awareness, not enough education, and there's a lot of preconceived ideas of what women go through and what it actually is to be a woman. So, if you want to know what it is to be a woman, this is the series for you. Have a great night, love yourself today, and be healthy.